What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a bit of a different video today. We're going to be going over Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and the total 3 chart as well, which excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum from the market cap of all of crypto. So it's essentially like an altcoin analysis, right? Also, we're going to go over Bitcoin and just like the price analysis of that as well. All of these come to us at the request of Mr. Chad Shee and Balloons, or Balloons, I think is what it is. I don't know. But anyways, we're looking at this right now. We're looking at BTCD. And generally speaking, you guys, if you're new to crypto, if you're old to crypto, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that's not normally a good thing for the markets. Generally, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, it's because altcoins are selling off more rapidly than Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down more, the dominance increases. When Bitcoin is going up in price, the dominance tends to decrease because altcoins gain more value when Bitcoin's going up. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do, right? Dominance going down is good. Dominance going up is bad, and here we can actually see that if we compare. I mean, really, why not compare it to total 3 actually? New price scale, right there. You can see right here, right? This is total 3, so this is the altcoin market cap essentially. It's going down right here, right? Bitcoin dominance fell. Once it stopped moving down, that was the top right here. It moved sideways and started moving up. All coins really started to tank. And then at the bottom of this, that was the top of this. Bitcoin dominance starts to drop. All coins get a little relief, right? And it's not always so symmetrical, right? There's times when Bitcoin dominance can move up and all coins move up as well. But, you know, maybe they're just not moving up as much as Bitcoin in that certain scenario, at least on average. This might not actually be accurate. Let's see, logarithmic. There we go. That's a better representation. But here, you can see as Bitcoin dominance has taken a bit of a pause, altcoins have been going on a run. We've been, you know, it might not seem like it to some people because a lot of the like OG altcoins, a lot of them, not all of them, there are some like Chainlink that have been doing well, but there are plenty of new coins and even coins from last cycle, not necessarily OG coins, that have been having their fun in the sun over the past like couple months now, or more than that even, you know, because Bitcoin's been, the dominance at least has been chilling. But it does look like the dominance is about to go down, I would say, which could imply that we see some altcoins turning up. This could be good for altcoins. It's hard to say. The weekly RSI does look pretty good. I'm going to delete this real quick. The weekly RSI does look good, but just like from a chart perspective here, this to me looks like it wants to move down. It wants to correct a little bit. Low to high. Yeah, I think dominance, man, that'd be crazy. Dominance kind of performs a bit different with the fibs, I've noticed. But for example, it's very common when you see this kind of behavior bouncing off the 236 and the 069 to go down to the 382. But I wouldn't necessarily expect that for the dominance. It could find support somewhere above it, which is very uncommon, or even just below the 236, also very uncommon. It's much more common to at least hit the 382, but nonetheless, it looks like it wants to pull back, in my opinion. Let's look at the daily, because the RSI looks fine on a weekly perspective. Yes, it's postured down, but you're still in the bullish area of control. It's still maintaining above the 50 relatively well. You know, it doesn't like to be below it apparently, so. The daily RSI does look pretty strong. Here we go. It might take a breather though. It's not too easy to say. Maybe you don't pull back as far as this 382 all the way down at about like 48%, but maybe you pull back down to like 52, 53%, something like that. That could be the case, yeah. You've kind of got like a megaphone pattern almost, right? Got this like broadening top kind of look. It's not beautiful at all, right? But it definitely has some kind of broadening look to it, which can break out to the upside. But maybe you pull back a little bit first, and then you break out to the upside. You could pull all the way back down to the bottom of this, and then move up to the upside as well. I'm having a hard time with this one. I want to say it goes down, though. I want to say it at least goes down to about 52.8%, 53%, something like that. It could go lower with the absolute possibility of going down to like 51.5%, maybe even all the way down to 51% itself. But let's look at that 52.8% area first, which could provide some altcoins a moment of relief. You might see some altcoins pump, or maybe Bitcoin drops in price while altcoins maintain their levels in price, if that even is a thing. That's not really common, but it can happen. There's so much attention, so much spotlight on Bitcoin. Now when I say altcoins are going to go up if Bitcoin dominance pulls back, that doesn't mean that they're going to go up, that all of them are going to go up. There's probably going to be a good bit of them that go down with Bitcoin and go down even harder, but there might be more, if not some of the top dogs that do well. I wonder. I'm kind of bearish on Ethereum, but I just wonder. Now, I do think Ethereum wants to pull back too. It's interesting. That's interesting. It wouldn't really make sense. The only way that the dominance could go down, looking at this chart, the only way the dominance could go down is if altcoins gain more value against Bitcoin, which can happen one of two ways. Bitcoin drops harder than altcoins, which is not common, or altcoins run while Bitcoin's moving sideways or even moving down a little bit, which is a little bit more common. I don't think Bitcoin's going to crash super hard, but kind of interesting look. It almost doesn't, it just goes against what I'm like thinking for the markets at this point in time. What if it just goes up? I'm really having a hard time with this one, man. I did not expect to be doing this for this long. Maybe it does move up. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe it doesn't pull back. Maybe it does move up. I don't know. If it is to move up, let's do some if-thans. If you can break above 54.03% on a daily basis closing, you likely will move up. Especially if you take out that high there, you likely will move up higher. And when I mean higher, I mean like 56% or higher, potentially all the way up to 58%. Man, what are you doing? This is an interesting chart. It's making me scratch my head because if it wasn't for the total state of the crypto markets right now, I feel like it would be easier to read this thing. But I'm assuming that we're going to see some dumps across the board. Maybe this thing does move up. Maybe I've had it wrong this whole time. Maybe it does move up to 57 to 60%. 57.6 to 60.4%, somewhere in that area. I don't know. I do like the monthly RSI. The weekly RSI isn't bad, though it's just not like ideal. And the daily RSI does look strong, but it looks like it could take a momentary break. It's really hard to say. I know, man. This is one of those videos where all my haters are going to be like, it could go up, it could go down. You guys are real funny, man. It could go up or it could go down. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning, if it was for my technical analyst's side of me, I would say it's going down. But the side of me that's like aware of the conditions of the market, I would kind of think you actually are moving up. And to be fair as well, looking at this fib for what it is, from this relative high here to the low, it would make sense to continue upwards there. It really would. If you were to pull back from here, you'd go to your 382, but you did close above your 0.5. It kind of would make sense to go to your 61869. So I'm going to finish this part of the video off with saying I think that we're going to move up to 57.7 to 60.4%. That's what I think we're going to do, which would imply that when Bitcoin drops, altcoins are going to drop harder, potentially. If I'm wrong, if the dominance goes down, look for some altcoins to do well, man. But Ethereum looks like it's going to, like normally if the dominance goes down, Ethereum does well too. So it just wouldn't make sense for Ethereum to look like it wants to go down and Bitcoin wants to go down and the dominance drops. It doesn't make sense. It's like you got your two top dogs going down, but everything else is going to go up. It doesn't make sense. Let's look at the total three on that note. And you can see here, right, you type in total 3, crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looking at it on a weekly, it does look really good. It does actually look pretty damn good. If $536 billion market cap. So this is, think of this as like an altcoin chart. It's like your altcoin index, right? If this is going up, odds are altcoins will go up. And this does look pretty good. I do think this wants to go up, actually. Man, conflicting. Chad Shee, man, with some good requests. Maybe I'm wrong on my opinions in the TA stands and Bitcoin dominance does go down. Somehow Bitcoin and Ethereum pull back while all other altcoins or a lot of altcoins take the spotlight. I don't know, man. That's a bullish looking weekly RSI. That's a bullish looking daily RSI. And you are in an area of the fibs where I would be bullish too. You're not even at your 0.5, and I think you want to head up to your 61869. This is a good one, man. Accumulation phase broke out, moving up. You consolidated, you're breaking. I would think you're in like the middle of an ABC kind of, like a 1, 2, 3 pattern here, right? Move up 1, you have your consolidation phase, and now you're going to move up 2. It's very symmetrical. This type of pattern is very symmetrical. In fact, I want to just see real quick from here to there. If we took that line and put it to the base, like that takes you right to your golden retracement zone, man. Interesting. We might be in the midst of an altcoin season, you guys. We might be. I know, man. I've been very indecisive in this video, and I'm not normally this indecisive. But you've got, to me, there's a lot of confliction. There's a lot of things conflicting with like how I would imagine the market's going. But to be fair, on the altcoin analyses, the altcoin analysis that I've been giving for a lot of different altcoins, there's a fair bit of them that do look like they want to go up. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Could this be some kind of weird double top? Like it would look so weird, man. Consolidation phase, you had your 1, 2, 3 correction, you're moving up. Like if you were to move down, it would be very small. It wouldn't be by much. Like, I don't know. I like the daily RSI. I like the weekly RSI. I think this thing wants to continue higher. I do. And the dominance to me, on a technical analysis basis, it looks like it wants to go down. I know I said that by finishing it up, that it was going to go up, but that was just based on my opinion. Like really, I said before that the TA, the technical analyst in me, would say it goes down. I might change that, man. You might be working your way up here, but maybe you work your way back down to your 382 first, because you are consolidating here. You haven't had your breakout yet, and it does kind of look like you're turning around. The weekly RSI doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like it wants to go just yet. The daily RSI does look like it wants to cool off. All of those things are still true. Lower highs, at least come down and form a higher low. Again, what I was also saying in this first segment of the video is that the dominance reacts a bit differently to fibs. You don't have to hit the 382. You could hit a little bit above it. You don't need to, but somewhere below this low, or even you could form a higher low. But maybe it does move down. Maybe it actually does move down. Yeah, the 4-hour does look a little bit bearish. 1 hour looks bearish, neutral but bearish. This is a good one, man. Scratching my head. So to summarize, I think BTCD does want to go down. I do, and now I very confidently feel that. And Total 3 looks like it wants to go up, and that makes sense. That you wouldn't see that go up if BTCD. I mean, it could go up. I guess it could go up while BTCD goes up as well. It is possible. It's actually happened before. But anyways, USDT.D. We're going to do USDT.D, USDT dominance here. So generally speaking, with USDT dominance, when this dominance goes down, that's also a good thing for crypto, because that means that there's less prominence in the USDT coin, which would then mean that people are selling their USDT for altcoins, Bitcoin even, like other stuff. And this chart does look bearish. It looks pretty damn bearish, actually. More bearish than anything we've seen so far. Is it going to form a new low down here? Probably not. But something down to like 3.73 from 5, like that's a pretty steep drop, man. Consolidated here, like that's a nice like top wedge pattern there. You broke out. You've got 1, 2. You're in the middle of your third leg right now. It just started. You're oversold. Yeah, dude. Rejected your 40 area. Yeah, I think you want to go lower. Yes, Yes, to anybody who knows basic technical analysis, that is bullish divergence. Until it's not. Until this keeps going down, that it negates that. And probably with stuff like that, when it's like obvious like this, by the time that it does negate this, by the time you do get a lower low in your RSI, that's when it'll turn around. But to be fair, you had a higher low back here, and that was a lower low there, so that was bullish divergence that panned out well. But you did kind of meander first. Let's look at the daily. Let's look at the daily. Daily is pretty oversold. Pretty oversold. You could go lower. You could go lower. Let's see. What are you doing on a relative fib basis? Bottom to top. I think you go lower, man. I do. Just really looking at this for what it is, I think you go lower. You just got in your overbought zone this week, confirmed if you close in the next 19 hours and 50 minutes. I think you're going lower. And where would you go? Let's look at it on a monthly basis to kind of get a better assumption there. Hard to say. I want to take this low to this top. Yeah, that looks right. Look at you, right at your 382 area, huh? And you did. You found support. You went up to your 236. Look at that, dude. That's perfect. That's, oh yeah. It's like this look right here. Rejecting your, or finding support on your 382, going up to your 236, rejecting it there, coming back to your 382. You are earmarked for this 0.5 or lower, right? Either this zone or this zone is your next targets, which would be 4.2% all the way down to like 3.5 or even 3.15%, which is a good thing for altcoins. If this goes down, that would mean altcoins, it's going to go somewhere, right? Most people don't cash out their USDT for USD. They cash it out for altcoins or Bitcoins. So if dominance goes down, it's going into other things, right? This dude, we might be in the middle of an altcoin season, you guys. We might be in the beginnings, if not the middle of it. Like it might have been some, and I do feel like it's been going on for quite some time. Not all altcoins have been pumping this whole time, but since October, we have had a good bit of altcoins popping off. Some are just like it's taking their turns. You know, they're consolidating, they're accumulating, and then they pump up for a week or two or a month or two, and then they chill. Man. Look for altcoins that are in accumulation phases, man, because they might be looking ready to pop off. I'm glad I put some cash in today, actually, into crypto. I put a good bit in, and I did it just for like DCA's sake, but I was going to put it in one coin that I just don't think is going to go as low as I thought it was anymore. So I put it in a different coin, and I'm very glad I did because the coin I'm talking about, for full transparency, I said that I wouldn't add more to this, but Compound. It looks like it's already up from where I bought it, but it looks like it's in this diamond pattern. It's breaking out of it now. It's in this accumulation phase. This is getting me excited, man. This thing, like, genuinely, I know it might sound crazy, guys, but you might see this thing literally pull a move like that in a very short amount of time. Just a quick little shill there, I guess. But I did, let's see, out of my whole holdings before today, I added like 30%. Like of Compound, let's say I held like 10 compounds. I bought 3.3 of those. Like I bought 33% more into what I already had. And Compound is one of my top coins that I'm holding, actually. So that's and I didn't think I was going to add more, but the chart looks so good. So anyways, that's USDT. That's BTCD, that's total 3 with a little bit of Compound sprinkled in there. Let's talk about Bitcoin and look at the price for what it is. Yes, we're at $51,575. Weekly bearish divergence is presenting itself, but we don't have to turn around from here. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's confirmed, right? You only get a confirmed bearish divergence once you see a red week, which we could next week, but unless we drop 6.75% in the next 19 hours and 50 minutes, which I don't think we will, this is not technically bearish divergence. It can still build. The reason for that is, yes, while it's diverging now, if we keep getting more green weeks, it could negate that bearish divergence. It does happen, right? Like here, for example, you had bearish divergence here, and then the next week you didn't anymore, and you continued for 2 more weeks even. You went up more, but right? Like right here, if this was your high right there this week, The next week you had bearish divergence, and the next week you did too. But then that week you got rid of it, and then that week you got rid of it. Like you kept going. So it's there. It's presented itself, but it's not confirmed, right? A lot of newbies in trading, especially like me in the beginning, I did the same thing with technical analysis. You look at this and you just get so giddy. You're like, oh, I know what that is. And yes, just because it played out over here, that definitely played out over here. You had a high and a lower high, high and a higher high. It did play out. Doesn't mean that it's going to play out here is what I'm trying to say. Especially because it could just continue to grow. But I don't think it will. I do think Bitcoin's going to pull back, giving also more momentum to the fire for these altcoins to grow. If it doesn't pull back too dramatically. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins do pull back more. But if it's moving sideways, if it's doing stuff like this, that's when altcoins tend to take off. That's in my experience at least. But let's see. Low to high. I am thinking that we pull back to at least 47K, like 50 or 46.8K. We're at 51.5 now, and that would make sense to me. We could pull down as low as like 43.4K. Sure. Is this right? I feel like those fibs have changed. I feel like it was like 44.7 before. Maybe I was looking at the extensions. That might have been what it was. Based off that, though, I do stand by that. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, because we're at the 127. So the way that I would look at this actually would be we could pull back to like 47.7K, right around there. Look to find support there. It's a very common thing to do to bounce right off your 886 and then continue higher. We could pull back to the 786 as well. That's also fairly common. And the least common of the three is to pull back to your 618, 69 area. But you could do that. If you were to close below 44.7K on a daily basis, that would not look good for Bitcoin. And that's what I mean by saying that altcoins can do well as long as this isn't a significant pullback, right? And some of you might think 51.5K to 47K is a significant pullback, but for Bitcoin it really isn't. Below 44.7K, that would be a significant pullback. That would be out of pocket, and that could put prices below this back on the table. And again, guys, prices below here, below 38.5K, they are still possible. I wouldn't say they're necessarily on the table, but they are possible. There's something that you have to be aware of. I'm not expecting it personally, but if we were to close below this level, if we were to get prices down here or here especially, this going below this level becomes a lot more likely. It's not just a possibility at that point. It becomes a likelihood. So right now what the likelihood is that we hold 47.7K to 46.6K. That's the likelihood, and very, very likely to bounce right off this 886. Look for that, because if we do, and when we do, likely what you'll see is a move that'll take you above this. The next target would be 54.3K, if not 57K. You're not just going to move up in a straight line from there, right? But this can take time. This could absolutely take time. It could take longer than what I have drawn here. This is still within the month of February. Maybe if altcoins are going to run, maybe Bitcoin's like meandering its way, then it has like one slip or something. It likes to do that, right? It likes to move sideways, move up even a little bit, and then slip, right? It likes to move sideways and then slip, right? So while it's moving sideways and doing its thing, that's when altcoins like to pump. But looking at the 4 hour, the 4 hour is looking weak on the RSI. I would say so. You do have hidden bullish divergence for what it's worth, lower lows while promoting higher lows. That does look good, but you're not getting a positive reaction for being down here below your 50. You had a positive reaction right there. You were like, psych, I'm not going to be below my 50, but you didn't carry on with it. So I do think you're going to roll over. I do think you're going to go lower. My minimum expectation is about 47.7K. And if you don't stop there, 44.7K is the maximum kind of expectation. I don't think you're going to go lower than that, but you could. You could. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then we could potentially talk about prices that are significantly lower than that, right? And that doesn't mean the bull market's in jeopardy. It just means upside is on pause for a second, which Bitcoin likes to mess with people, man. It really does. So who knows? But this does look like it wants to go down again. It all kind of makes sense why we would have an altcoin season. But if this were to drop dramatically in a short amount of time, that could throw this alt phase up that I've been talking about for most of this video off. It could throw it off entirely. We would see Bitcoin dominance go up probably. Like if Bitcoin just fell off a cliff from here, we'd probably see the dominance go up. We would see the total 3 go down. We'd see USDT go up. Everything that I've said would be wrong. So hopefully we just keep doing this, what we've been doing, slowly meandering down, and then inevitably, like toward the end there, we might get like a little slip. That's just how Bitcoin likes to be, right? It likes to be boring, and then it's exciting. It likes to be boring, and then it's exciting, and then it's boring again, and then it's exciting, and then it's boring. You know, it doesn't like to be exciting for too long. But when you zoom out, it is very exciting. We're definitely in the middle of a bull run. People in my comments, I keep seeing this, and I want you guys to know. By the way, we're almost at 4,000 subscribers. Thank you, by the way, for that. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's hit 4,000 tonight, baby. Let's go. If not tonight, sometime by the end of this month. That'd be cool. We probably will get there. But I see people talking about when we're in the bull run. You guys, we look at the chart, man. We've been in a bull run since November of 2022. We've been in a bull run. We have. Line of best fit. We're a little bit below this line right now, right? We were above it, below it. I don't know. You could draw a channel if you wanted to. Let's try and draw a channel. I don't normally do this, but nope, that's the wrong area. I have it Rasta colored because I'm funny that way, I guess. That was back whenever I actually didn't make videos. This was just like a personal thing, so I made it Rasta colored. That's not really a well-respected channel, is it? Let's see. Not really. Maybe we could do it like this. That looks better. Yeah, that actually does look better. Look at that. Tipping that green line there, tipping this green line here, hitting the red line, of course, finding support on the median line there. That actually does look pretty good. And we're at the top here. We could pull back, you know what I mean? But all in all, we're definitely in a bull market, man. We're moving up. And can you break out of your upward trends? Can you have like an upward looking kind of like channel phase and then break out of it to the upside? Absolutely you can. So this might not be the velocity that we carry out through the whole bull cycle, right? I do think that we'll see prices take off here sooner than later, but it'll probably still be some months before that, right? We're before the halving. We still have about a month, no, 2 months from here, about 2 months to go, and then it'll probably be sometime after the halving that we see things really take off. So, you know, if Bitcoin takes a second to get there, to get to like these new highs, that's not totally out of pocket at all, is all I'm trying to say. It could take a while. It could consolidate for a while now, give altcoins a chance for like the rest of this month, maybe even going into next month, to kind of like it could consolidate while altcoins take off. Is all I'm trying to say. But man, I feel like I'm losing my momentum here, so I'm probably going to end it there. I think Bitcoin looks like it wants to go down. I think altcoins look like it wants to go up, man. Bitcoin dominance does look like it wants to go down a little bit. USDT dominance definitely looks like it wants to go down. Total 3 looks like it wants to go up. We really could be in the midst of an altcoin season, you guys. And sorry, not sorry if this video was a bit confusing, but I myself was scratching my head for a good bit there. But I feel like I've said everything I need to say, and I'm definitive on my final kind of assumptions, right? I just said it. Bitcoin's probably going to pull back a little bit. BTCD is probably going to go back a little bit, pull back a little bit. Total 3 is probably going to go up a little bit, and USDT is probably going to pull back a little bit too. So yeah, that's it. Actually, USDT probably pulls back a lot more in comparison to the rest of them. But that's all I got for you guys. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.